It's the After the Show podcast, precious.
We don't care, we're about to swear on the air. It's the After the Show, so tune in if you dare. KVJ, get risque every single day. It's uncensored. We can say what we want to say.
Yeah, hello and welcome to the KVJ After the Show podcast. Virginia is not here with us today. She has a friend that is being sworn in as a state representative in Tallahassee, and Virginia wanted to go and be a part of the democratic process.
She straight up got political.
She did. She absolutely did. It's as political as you can get. She always says she's the least political one on the show.
You're right. That's about as political as
That's
one
as political
can get.
as you can get.
You're going to a sworn in.
Yeah. An inauguration of a person that is going to be in the House of Representatives. So Virginia's there supporting that democratic process in Tallahassee. She'll be back with us on Thursday. So I assume the swearing in is going to be today, I would guess. Maybe she's partying tonight and traveling back tomorrow, be my guess.
Yeah, because if she's up at Tallahassee, Magnolia, her daughter's up there, right?
Yeah.
So it's kind of a twofer.
Yeah. Thing I'm interested to hear is when she gets back, Virginia had this plan to go and find her grandmother's friend. We had talked a bit about this, where Virginia's grandmother, who is, well, she's 90, late 90s?
No,
or she hit 100?
I think she's at 101.
Is she?
100 or 101.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, she got to 100. I know that.
Okay. All right, so she is there, and she had a friend that she used to have, I think, from when she lived in Long Island. And she was wondering where this friend had gone. And she asked Virginia to try to track her down. And we had some super sleuths that tried to track her down. And I thought the results were that they'd found that her friend had wound up on the west coast of Florida, but had passed away a year or two ago.
So we have an update. She's risen?
I don't know. Something happened that I thought that was the final story on that, was that she had passed away, but then I guess Virginia, for some reason, thought that she wasn't, that maybe instead she had been put in a home, and sometimes that's why it looks like you're passed away, but you're actually not. And so Virginia, I think the reason why she left early, and maybe why she's not here today, is because Virginia has gone up to whatever town that is that she believes her grandma's friend is in, and she was going to every nursing home to find her.
Oh, okay.
I think there were 7 or 9 of them, I thought she had said, that she was going to go and just go in there and say, hey, is so-and-so here?
Well, look, I respect it because she's doing that for her grandma.
No doubt.
She's trying to make her grandma happy. So I think it's a really nice thing she's doing.
So she has gone on this mission to try to find her. Now, I don't know if they would let you know when you go to the front desk of a nursing home. If you ask for somebody, would they tell you definitively whether they're there or not?
And the other thing, too, is when you're that old, do you want motherfuckers you don't know surprising you? Does that startle you?
Yeah,
Does that freak you out?
I don't know what Virginia will do if she gets in there, if she finds her. I don't know that they would walk her to her room. I don't know. Yeah, so I'm. This is what I'm very intrigued about. I, of course, want to hear about what happens with the swearing-in ceremony. I've never been to one of those before. But yeah, how her adventure goes with trying to find her grandma's friend of going to the nursing home.
Someone was in the chat room, and it's a great question. Isn't that a violation with HIPAA?
That was my first thought, too.
Because, I mean, if I go to try to find you at a hospital, they don't have to tell me that shit, right?
Yeah, I'd emailed that back to her because she had, let us all know what her plan was. And I'd said, well, just one thought. I don't know if you've had it or not, but will they even tell you? Or if you walked into a nursing home and you said, yes, is Jane McGillicuddy here? Would they be like, oh, yeah, she's right in room 12? Or would they be like, sorry, we can't tell you who we have here, and we don't?
McGillicuddy's such an old name.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, that's why I went with that. So, yeah, everybody's saying yes. Nursing homes cannot say who is a patient, who's not. It's HIPAA laws. So.
Okay, well, I don't want to kill her spirit.
No, I hated to even mention that, but.
Well, you got to mention it because it's smart to mention.
Yeah, so I mentioned it, and she was gonna go on anyway. She's like, no, I think she thought that she was going to be able to.
I know she thinks
talk them into it.
She can will it to happen.
Yes.
Yeah.
She thought if she comes in there strong enough that they will break down and let her know if she is there or not.
Something tells me there's going to be a story attached to this.
I can't wait to hear it.
Yeah.
I can't wait to hear it. So
And it might be aggressive.
it is. It's going to be aggressive, and she's going for it. And
And it's going to be a point where me and you look at each other and go, I probably wouldn't have done that, but we're not going to say anything because we're scared.
no, I'll just keep asking questions.
So just know I'm calling that
Yeah.
right now.
Uh-huh. So if she comes back and is found conclusive, I will be so happy if she goes up there and she finds her and they connect and her grandmother gets her friend back. I cannot wait to hear. That's going to be the happiest story.
I would love it. I
Yes.
would. I want this to
Of
work
course.
out.
I do too.
But I'm also realistic and know that there could be an aggressive story attached to this.
Yes. This is like a sequel to Against All Odds.
Yes.
It is. If she accomplishes this, I feel like she's going against the odds. But that's what makes a great story, right?
Totally.
It shouldn't be happening. Okay, let me see some comments that we got here. You can always email them in, mail@kvjshow.com, mail at kvjshow.com. You can always get a hold of us. Becky said, I was listening to the show from the beginning this morning, and I was watching Planes, Trains, and Automobiles on Sunday night. What do you think, Becky? Did it hold up? From what I remember, it was a solid movie, and that's my question. I don't know if I'll have time between now and Thanksgiving, but we will be on the road, and so that's why I was kind of thinking that, depending upon what our entertainment options are when we get in that van. If I'm not driving at the time, I was like, hey, maybe Cannon will want to watch this movie, and if I put it on, will he be impressed and be like, Dad, thanks, that's such a great movie, I'm so happy, or it would be like, this sucks.
Worst case scenario, I'll watch it every 15 minutes. I'll give you an update on if it still holds up per scene. Like, Kev's still watching it. Yeah, it's kind of not that good.
Yeah.
I'll just, if you can't watch it, you'll at least get,
Please, yes, let me know.
how low budget would that be?
Yeah. So people were saying, I watch it every year. It is a tearjerker. It is.
It's a good movie.
It is, but I love the feel. Sometimes I'm not a big fan of the tearjerker, but the way that it's done, at the end, it's happy and it's heartwarming. I don't like an open end where I walk away in sadness. Give me a little sadness, but at the end, my heart is warm because I'm like, oh my gosh, he filled the hole, the void in his heart, and how great is this?
To me, that's what I feel. Some of those old movies that still do well, even with kids, I think there's one thing, the reason why they do well, because the acting is very good. I think you had really good acting.
You did.
Back
They were just the comedic timing. Steve Martin is one of those people that I feel like maybe sometimes doesn't get enough credit, because if you look at his movies, he may not have the ones that necessarily jump off the page at you to be like, oh my gosh, all the Steve Martin movies. But he has made a lot of really solid movies that I think if you look back at his career, you'd be going, you know what, they're better than what I remembered.
One of my favorite Steve Martin movies is a movie called Roxanne. I don't know if he had a
right.
really, 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 really Pinocchio-sized nose in the movie.
Yeah.
And it's a really good movie. It's a rom-com.
It is.
But it's bizarre, too.
It is, and it's a solid movie. That would be right in line with the solid Steve Martin movies I'm talking about. Cheaper by the dozen. It's a solid movie. It's 21 years old now. Had a young Hilary Duff in it.
One of the most underrated movies I think that are out there is Steve Martin with Parenthood. That is such a fantastic movie.
Yeah,
Talk about heart.
Parenthood is
such a good movie.
Parenthood is a fantastic movie. Father of the Bride.
Yeah.
Is another solid Steve Martin movie.
Even his corny movies, The Man with Two Brains, it's so goofy and out there, but it's still very funny.
My dad's a big fan. And I remember I thought it was good. Dirty Rotten Scoundrels.
That's one of the movies I did not like by him.
Okay, my dad, I remember, loves that. I haven't seen that in a long time. I'd have to check that one out. Three Amigos.
Love it.
He was in that way back in the day.
I love that movie.
And then of course The Jerk is the one that kind of put him on the map. But yeah, he's got a good 5 really solid movies that I just don't think get enough shine. for his career.
Oh, good call. Someone said Steve Martin's All of Me with Lily Tomlin. That's another great movie.
I don't know that I know that
They
one.
change bodies.
Oh, okay.
That's a good movie. That was a big thing back in the day. They did that a lot. That whole premise.
They did the Freaky Fridays.
Switching bodies with people.
Yeah. They did love that vehicle. Yeah, but he's done some. He has done some. I think he needs a little bit more credit.
He's a Hall of Famer, though. He's considered a legend. He is.
Yes, I agree with you. I think he definitely is. But I think the thing about Steve Martin is you might need a reminder as to be like, okay, what was he in? It might be a good time to go and dust off some of his old movies and be like, wow, okay, those are all pretty solid.
Jamie in the chat room just brought up another one, and it's probably one of my favorite roles by him. He's the bad guy in Little Shop of Horrors.
Oh, okay.
And he's fantastic.
Is he? Yeah.
He's awesome in that movie.
Okay. Yeah, I'd never seen that one either. So, yeah, he quietly has a really, really solid career with a lot of great movies that, yeah, I'm curious. I need to go back and do a Steve Martin movie marathon. Do those movies hold up? Because in my mind, I'm like going, yeah, why don't I watch that more often? They're all pretty solid.
You'll be a dentist.
Mm-hmm.
You'll be a success.
Was Martin Short in that one?
No.
Okay. Ashley must have had another comment.
Martin Short and Steve Martin, they do Three Amigos with Chevy Chase, and they have a couple of funny
That's
numbers
right.
in that.
Okay.
Blue Shadows on the Trail, written by Randy Newman, when they're out in
Yeah.
the desert and all the animals are bouncing along.
Oh, yeah, right.
I love that.
That is good. He and Martin Short are going to be in South Florida in January. I think they're either at Hard Rock Live or the Coco Casino. So, yeah, they do that show. It'd be interesting to see what their show's like. They have really good dynamic together. And he plays banjo.
Yeah, unbelievable banjo. He's next level, a great banjo player.
The first time he came out on stage with a banjo, I thought it was a comedy act. And he sat down and started, I was so confused because I thought it was comedy, but it wasn't, and he was fantastic.
He is not dicking around on the banjo. It's not just him, pluck, pluck, pluck. No, he's a fantastic banjo player.
Yeah, like an A-plus banjo player.
He took banjo, and that was his thing outside of acting.
Okay. There you go. All right, got some other comments stuff here today in your emails. We were talking about, from Am I the Asshole? It was somebody that had put together a vegan wedding, $15,000 they had spent on the food. They did not alert anybody else. There was an aunt who was put off by it, and she's like, people are starving here. Nobody wants to eat this. So another relative shows up with 20 pizzas, and people start devouring the pizzas, and the bride is flipping out. She's livid about it. And so that was the thing about, okay, if they were the jerk, and there was commentary about, do they need to let people know, hey, the menu's going to be vegan. And Anthony said in regards to that wedding where they carefully crafted a menu of vegan-only options, I just want to say that the bride and groom are under no obligation to make anyone aware of anything. It is their day. They get one day out of their entire lives together where they get to be selfish and not give a shit about anybody else. And I honestly think if the world looked at it more like, hey, on your wedding day, it's a bride and groom, it is whatever they want, and we just have to suck it up for one day and deal with it, then the world would just be a much happier place. But they're under no obligation to share whatever their plans were for their wedding day and their guests.
That email right there is why people hate going to fucking weddings.
Yeah.
Because look, how about this? If everyone's hashtag be cool and understands how the world works, of course you're not under any obligation because it is your big fucking day. But just play to the crowd sometimes. People are going to want some meat. Not everyone's a vegan. So just why not you be cool? They be cool by not bringing pizzas. I mean, everyone's an asshole in this situation. And yes, I get it. You're not obligated to do shit. But let's play ball in the real world here.
It's one of those examples of people who insulate themselves and they live in a silo. We're seeing so much of that. And that's why I hate kind of where we're going. I think politics has driven us down this path a lot. But people, they want to hang out with people who just echo how they believe and how they feel. And if you're vegans, you get your little silo and your little groupings, and all you do is talk about vegan shit. And if you're believing this way politics or that way politics, and then people, and they're stunned when they go back out into a setting where you might have people of all different types and they can't get along with them, or they can't talk to them, or they're just shocked that other people have the beliefs that they do. They're like, what do you mean you don't like vegan food?
Well,
Are you kidding me?
We get it. You're a vegan couple, but just keep in mind, your audience isn't a vegan audience. So now you on your big day where everything goes your way because it's your fucking love birthday. Everyone's got to have vegan food thrown down their throat when you could be cool and have some fucking Swedish meatballs over here on one side. You could play it both ways if you wanted to be a cool person.
Yeah, I agree. I think they should. And I think that, to me, that's my one comment about all of this stuff is you need to hang out with diverse people. You need to get an influx of other people's opinions and what other people are into. Yeah. I think otherwise you are just living in this bubble where you think everything is one way and it's not.
And it really kind of just comes back down to the hashtag be cool.
It does.
Try to be cool with everybody. Everyone's a little bit different.
Well, some people, and that's my opinion, is that I think that you need to talk to people that are different than you don't agree with, and things like that. And somebody came for me today because I had talked about there are some people that have canceled their plans with family because they found out how they voted. And they said, I will not associate myself. And they said, look, you realize by the way they voted that they have no moral compass. And I'm not going to associate with people that don't have a moral compass. And I said, I could not disagree with you more. I said that I think that's your opinion. I think that maybe if you talk to them, you might find out that maybe it's not as you completely feel. And sometimes you should be able to sit with people that feel radically different than you and you not go, oh my gosh, and you just can't handle it and you have to go running home, because it's more than you can handle.
I take it you didn't get the invite to the dinner.
No, I'm not going to get the invite. So we walked away and you know what? That's fine too. I'm okay with that. I can be like, I completely disagree with you. We completely disagree, and that's fine.
Life's too short,
fine
man.
with that. I am. Look, you have your opinion, and you're going to go through and ask everyone in your family who they voted for, and you're only going to invite people that voted the way you do. I think that's completely wrong, but you're entitled to do that. I would never ask and never care, and if they did, I'd want to sit down and have a honest conversation to be like why they felt that way and be intrigued by their answer. But not a lot of people feel the way I do.
Yeah, well, I mean, such is life.
Autumn sent an email. She said, before we got engaged, my husband and I had been together for 15 years and always said marriage was not in the cards. We were happy with just the way things are. And then my husband proposed on a trip that I won to Hollywood, California for Valentine's Day. We stayed at the London. What was even more valuable was that I was so under the weather and he proposed in the bathroom, even with me looking at my worst. The hotel, he showed up with a custom-made ring for me. Apparently he had the diamond for over 3 years. I would rate this an A. We've now been married for 14 years. There you go. That's doing it right. We're talking about your proposals today and what you would rate them. The ones that were the funniest were the ones that were completely terrible.
Yes. I think if it's a legit good proposal, first of all, you better make sure it's an under 10-second story.
Yeah. Well, that one, yes.
Well, I think you can go on too long about love.
She loved it. She was very happy with it. And she wanted to make sure every detail was included. Because it was an A++.
And I'm happy for that story that we heard earlier. I just know that you can't talk too long about love.
Not everybody loves love or loves hearing about your great experience with it. This person had sent us a text, and they said, my girlfriend and I decided to go hiking in a state park. I had gone out during the wee hours of the morning to bury a briefcase with her ring in it. We later went hiking, and I pretended to stumble upon something in the ground. I started to dig it up, and my then girlfriend, being a very cautious person, was demanding that I leave it alone, saying it was probably drugs or something. I then proceeded to ask, and she's standing there confused, thinking I'm digging up drugs. I proceed to ask her to marry me. I also had asked friends to hide along the trail in the bushes to keep other hikers from interrupting us, and being in the middle of summer in South Florida, they were eaten alive by bugs and mosquitoes. We now have been married for 12 years, and I would give it actually a D- for trying to be overly romantic. And bonus points, I look like a total creeper hiking in the woods at 5 a.m. with a shovel and a briefcase.
And then you had people lurking
on the trails. Yeah.
is awesomely awful.
And I think it's probably in his head. It's sounding really good.
Sometimes you can get a little too clever, a little too cute.
He's like, this is going to be great.
That's funny, though, that they can laugh about that.
That's right. Okay. Brian, just to clarify, when it comes to the rings, I don't even know if I actually knew this. When it comes to having your wedding ring and your engagement ring, you're supposed to wear both the engagement and the wedding ring. The engagement goes in first, closer to the heart.
Yeah, I thought my mom always had her engagement ring and her ring on at the same time.
Okay.
I thought that's what you're supposed to do, but everyone's different.
Might have been, yeah. I don't know. What happened was with the Queen, I got her a wedding ring, and she wore it for a while, and then she got tired of that one, and she wanted to get another one. So she got another, not expensive. They were just, regular rings. And so she didn't even wear a ring now. She's got a tattoo initial of a K on her finger because she's not a big ring person. So that's why, I guess I was off the hook. It wasn't a big thing for me. Denny's did a good job with his ring.
Oh, this romantic
he put in
fuck.
the time.
So I would say the reason she doesn't wear both is because she does pottery and she works with kids. So the engagement rings are a little more clunky, a little more.
Yeah.
They stick out and stuff. The wedding band is flush. You won't even know she had it on.
Okay, so it just kind of blends in.
Yeah, I wouldn't have done that style. I just didn't think about it.
Is it a cheese dick move to go get the rings together?
No, I don't think so.
Or is that against the? Is that not romantic?
I mean, I think it's different for different people. I'm sure if somebody had a vision in their mind of how they wanted everything to go, they'd probably want to be there along while you were picking it out. But Jen, she was cool if I picked it out.
Because you can make that a cozy afternoon, get lunch after.
Totally. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was. I mean, just doing the ring shopping and not being necessarily a ring person, I did have a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I could see the appeal of it. I mean, there's some expensive ass things in there.
No, there is. Yeah, it's crazy how gung ho you can go on a wedding ring.
It's just, man, do you really want to drop that much money? You can drop some money,
yeah.
but do you really want to drop that much money?
That's what I always wonder when people get married, especially if you don't have a lot in the savings or if you just don't want to get started off on such a big financial disaster. If you spend all that money on the rings and then all that on the wedding and then all that on the honeymoon, you kind of go, was it worth it? I'm sure some people will say it was.
It just depends on where you are. Look, the thing that I really like is people are wearing these more flexible kind of black bands and things of the nature now
I've seen
for
those.
a wedding ring. Yeah, I love that because it's kind of cool. And this thing is always clanking on something.
Yeah.
And so I was like, that's a cool looking ring. If I could go back and had it over again. Now I've had this the entire time we've been married because it's what I liked the style then. But I like that. To me, if you didn't have to spend a ton of money and you're like, look, I just got the band, it's all good.
So a lot of people, they'll put their actual wedding ring in the drawer and they'll wear those.
Yeah.
I think they're ballistic rubber or ballistic. It's made of some material like that. They're pretty cool. I saw a friend of mine had one.
Yeah, they're durable and they're not going to rip your finger off if it gets caught on something.
Yeah, and a lot of my friends who work out or any of that
Right.
stuff or work outside and have to lift things, they tend to wear those because they don't get ruined.
Right.
Ring. I mean, oh gosh, if you had an expensive ring and you broke it and it fell in the ocean or just fell in the grass and you lost it, you'd be so heartbroken.
Yeah, no doubt. Absolutely. Why not do it the smart way? Now, I don't know if this is right. Got this from Jennifer. The average man has 9 sexual partners in his entire life, while women have 4. That's a meme. I think we had that
You
stat
did a stat
recently. Yeah,
2 weeks ago that was much higher than that.
That sounds like a 1994 stat, right?
Yeah, no, it was 10 or 15, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Something like
it was
that.
much higher.
It was
yeah.
much higher.
And I thought it was about flush and even. That's the one thing they found was the old perception is that women had about half, but it was pretty much about the same for guys and girls, I thought.
Yeah.
Men might have had a few more, but it wasn't.
They're pretty comparable.
Everyone's
Yeah.
porking, Kevin.
Yeah,
They
I think
are.
everyone is porking. Just based on my generation through high school, I think they were really
Everyone's porking.
they were all porking.
Everyone's porking.
There was no stigma.
Equality.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just think everyone. I don't know. We're a carnal creature.
Well, and it takes 2 to tango. So I mean,
Not always.
yeah, you're right. You're right. You can do a lot of solo dancing.
I had talked yesterday about the family trip that I got. It's going to be coming up this week. And one of the big issues that I'm trying to sort through now, everything seems like it's all planned. That's all good. The hardest parts of a trip, it seems like I have no worries about that. I'm good with reservations and the trip and the location and the directions and all that kind of stuff is great. I'm just so concerned about how much my wife and daughter are packing after my wife laid down a massive suitcase. And I was like, oh, dang, you're all ready to go for the whole trip. She's like, no, that's day one. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? It's a 10-day trip.
Yeah.
You can't take 10 of those. Like, where's everybody going to sit?
Well, I mean, 10 times.
Hey. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm a little consumed with that thought. Linda said one bag is plenty. She can buy stuff wherever she goes, and if she needs anything extra. Now, that, is concerning, too, because how much money are you going to freaking spend on this thing? I guess not everybody's set the way I am. To me, I need maybe one pair of jeans, maybe two. Mm-hmm. It's good.
For sure. I mean, I think women could be allowed to bring 2 suitcases. I feel like that's a lot.
Are they allowed, Denny's?
Well, I'm just saying. I feel like that's a
See,
acceptable
that's why
amount.
He knows how to lay down the,
Denny's
he's like, woman.
Yeah.
That's how he dresses.
I'm
So
so
he says,
assertive.
woman, listen. Yeah.
2 bags, no more.
Yeah.
I'd say 2 bags is a completely acceptable amount. Once you start hitting more than that, you go, what are we doing?
Oh, yeah. You see him laying down the law right there? That's the entire
I
marriage,
mean, I'm
Kevin.
kind of with Kevin on this.
I'm definitely with Kevin on this. You can't be bringing fucking multiple bags.
No, this is
5 bags
insane.
per
Well,
person.
Kevin's going to get a quarter of a duffel bag.
Yeah.
Oh, he's gonna lose. He's gonna lose bag.
He's going to have to wear the one pair of jeans
No,
that
she
he's gonna
already
have.
laid out what I have.
Yes.
I've got a suitcase, and but you know what? Here's the weird thing. I'm okay with it. I'm like, yeah, that's what everybody should have. And I'm like, I told her that. I'm like, going, you know what? I'm fine with that. That is adequate for what I need to do, and that's how it should be. I said, you need to do the same thing. She's like, you're crazy. I said, you don't wear that many clothes when you're at home. She's like, yeah, but we're gonna be taking photos, and I gotta look cute, and then we're doing like something at night.
So you're already stressed out about this vacation.
Yes. It's
what a
what's
vacation.
stressing me out.
Come back.
You're right, because I'm just like, all right, because I know it's going to be like, it's just the whole thing is going to be cluttered with freaking clothes, and you're going to be sitting on suitcases. It's just going to be a fucking mess. Like, it just doesn't have to be this way.
You're going to have to get that trailer hitch.
Yeah, and it's just going to be a lot more difficult than it needs to be, where the simple thing is just think through what you're packing and be sensible about it. I think through, be like, okay, I'll be in this climate here for this day. I need this. This will be good.
Look, I don't want to sound like a broken record. I know I keep saying it, but you do need a hug.
I keep hearing that. Every day I hear that. You need a hug, Kev.
After this trip,
You need
too.
a hug, dog.
Yeah. You're right. Michael said, oh, my dear Kevin, you're not going to win this road trip luggage gate. Hence your tattoo on the neck argument, how well that went. Just give in. She's going to bring as many bags as she wants. You need to solve the problem of space because these bags are going. Talk her into vacuum sealing her clothes bags. Yeah, and this is usually what it is. It's me. I'm going to be leaning on her about, let's talk this through, think that through. Let's figure out how to condense this. No, you don't need that.
And make no mistake about it, Kevin knows he lost this already. Deep down, he's just let the man vent.
Yeah, that's all it
But
is.
he knows
A
he
lot of
lost.
it's venting, but a lot of it
We
too
hear
is just
you.
leaning in and saying, no, come on.
You gotta lay the law.
No, yeah.
Like Denny's lay down that law.
Like Jen, 2 bags. We got to carry this stuff. Let's be reasonable.
Joanne said, I'm laughing so hard listening to the suitcase drama for Kevin's trip. Let me really blow Virginia's mind. We're also traveling on Friday. It's going to be about 10 hours. We're going to be gone for 8 days. We're taking the trip in our large SUV, 4 dogs, 5 kids, and we're taking 1 suitcase total, max 2. Wow.
Yeah, you're
Okay.
bringing everything else.
She said, yeah, every time we drive, we end up packed to the max and so uncomfortable. Exactly. That's what I'm fearing. So this time I'm packing myself, 5-year-old baby in half of the suitcase, 3 kids in the other half. My husband and I are going to have a carry-on bag. We'll have diapers. Kids have their backpacks filled with all their special favorite snacks and the trip activities. I totally understand both sides of it because I used to be that girl when I was in my 20s, but my priorities changed. I'm taking the trip to have fun with my kids and husband, who could care less if I'm dressed to the nines or leggings with my hair in a messy bun. Yes, thank you, Joanne. You're the sensible woman. That's what I'm trying to tell my wife.
Let it all out, baby. Let it all out.
You're right in your sentiments. That's where I want my Mexican queen to be set. Who am I trying to impress? Exactly, no one. But to each their own. Maybe Kevin could load the car and accidentally forget a few bags. That would be the worst thing I could possibly do. Because if she realized in Georgia or North Carolina that a bag was left behind, guess what? We're driving back to West Palm Beach to get the fucking bag.
Oh, yeah.
We're fighting for 10 hours.
That sounds awful.
Terrible.
That's oh my gosh. To go back to get a bag.
I wouldn't go back. I would lay my foot down. I would stay in North Carolina. I'd have to fly.
Your balls are in the bag. You're
At that
driving
point,
back.
I'm blowing up the whole trip.
I'm
blowing up the whole trip.
You either take it like a bitch or you blow up the
I'm
whole
blowing
trip.
up the whole trip. I'm just blowing it up. I'm ruining the family vacation.
There's nothing in the middle. You have to go either. Oh yeah, I'm
It's
sorry.
just I'm
Or
dropping
blow
the
it up.
gauntlet, blowing the whole thing up.
That sounds awesome.
That's where we'd wind up. Yeah, the only other piece of drama that we were dealing with, and this is the one thing I was talking to the Queen about today, is my son. You know, he plays football, and the one thing we did not think about, because I looked at the schedule, because when we've been planning this for months, right? And so I looked at the football schedule. I'm like, this is perfect. I'm like, his season is going to end, and we got, maybe you'll have a playoff game, and then we'll be good to go. And so I thought we were fine. Well, they had that playoff game for football, and they won. He's got a game on Friday, and we leave Friday afternoon because we have a room Friday night in Gainesville that you cannot get a refund on.
Yeah, but here's the thing, though. He's not going to probably play, though, right?
That's it.
True.
He's a backup, and he hasn't played, and he really wants to go on this trip. Now, my sensibilities are, dude, you can't let down your team. Even if you stand there on the sidelines for 4 quarters and you have no chance, you're not going to sniff the field.
Is he the backup?
He's
the backup.
He was the backup, but they took the backup and they moved him to receiver. So now he is technically the backup.
Oh,
I know.
I see what you're saying.
But his argument is, look, they can adjust. They have another receiver. The former backup could take, if something happens and QB1 gets hurt,
they've got
he's
another
gonna be
plan.
Okay. And my son, Cannon, is very resolute about not missing this trip. He's really been looking forward to it.
Okay. Well, I mean, then,
And he is like, I'm not missing it. And he is, you could tell. And that's just it. A lot of times when it comes to something, I see how dug in is somebody on something. Because, look, I may have my preferences, but a lot of it I'm like, okay. To me, on the scale, you can't have everything in life be a 10. If it is, it's not going to work out for you. You're going to be fighting with everybody all the time. And look, I have my 10s. And when it comes to that, the Queen, she'll be like, all right, he's dug in on this one. I'm going to let him have a win. A rare win, but a win.
The other thing, too, is sometimes, people know their situation better than, he might know the situation better than you do. Saying, Dad, this is not going to be a big deal. He just might know things that you don't know. And I see your point, not to let your team down, because technically you're right if you're supposed to dress. But this is also a family vacation, and I
started in. I said, dude, I'm sorry, bub. We'll figure out another way to get you wherever at some point. He's like, if we win, then I'm done for another week. I'm like, well, I'll send you photos. I'm like, it'll be good. He is not having it. And so I could see he is dug into a 10 level.
So would that leave a bad taste in the coach's mouth if he left and say they won or say they needed him?
I think so.
Well, if you needed him, yes, it absolutely is going to leave.
Right.
That'll leave a bad taste in everyone's mouth.
It likely would be nothing at all. And trust me, his team was down. I'm like, I hate to see the team lose, but this is really going to work out well for the family. And then all of a sudden, second half, his team lit it up, and the other team just couldn't do anything, and they wound up winning in overtime. I'm like, well, now we got a situation.
Well, I guess my whole thing is, if there's really no way he's going to be playing in the game, that's one thing. But if there's
barring injury, there's no way he's playing.
Barring injury, you say though. That's
Gosh, first quarter,
injury.
the guy's leg breaks.
Exactly.
And then I don't know. They may have, he probably was going to go in, but I don't know. He's like, look, they have an option at quarterback, and he said, look, and they even have, if QB2 got hurt, they have another guy that has done reps at QB, and so he's like, they'll be fine. He said, I'm not missing this. He said, I want these memories. He said, I'm not going to play. There's no chance. He said, I don't even get the reps. And so.
Well, it sounds like he knows.
Yeah, he's felt it out.
Yeah. So, I do feel slightly uncomfortable with it.
You're not what we're gonna do. They're gonna cancel the trip. Your wife wouldn't allow that. She's gonna have can
Well,
and
that's
go.
it. We're booked, and it's all like we would lose all the money.
There's nothing you can do to change that.
Yeah.
So you already
Yeah.
know he's going. So I
Yeah.
wouldn't beat yourself up over it.
Yeah, I know. It's the one thing I'm slightly uncomfortable with, and
I get it.
I've got a little debate in my head, being like, I don't know. Old school dad would be like, no, you don't leave the team behind, even if you stand there and hold a clipboard.
How dare you? Now go give me 10 laps and go eat that football.
Yeah. So, yeah. So I think that's where we are, and we'll see. So. If he's not playing football next year, you'll know why.
There's always basketball.
There's a lot of sports out there.
There you go. Here you go, Denny's. These are the pants you were talking about earlier where you maybe were going to get away from denim. And I was saying, yeah, you know what? This is kind of a new style. I guess proper thing would be twill or chino joggers. You can go on Amazon, and there are brands that make them very expensive, but you don't have to do that. And they're very comfy. They're a little nicer sweatpants. In fact, you can wear a button-up or a nicer top with these, and all of a sudden now it's like you're kind of business casual. Mm-hmm. And they're not only flexible on your body, but I think they're flexible with the atmosphere. You could go into kind of a nice bar restaurant in these kind of pants and still be okay.
Kind of looks like it's gonna show off your two-tone dick, though.
It's going to, yeah. We're all going to see your dong.
All right,
but
just the outline.
It's
of
great.
it
Just the outline.
Yeah.
All right, so joggers. So I've seen joggers. Those are kind of tapered at the bottom. So
Yeah.
I like the fabric of the ones you got on. They're kind
Absolutely, yeah. And they've got this. I'm all in that mold. I don't like the expensive brands. I just can't justify spending that. But I'm looking online and I'm seeing they look like they're that's the whole thing
They
for
look
me.
nice.
I don't know why you buy any of these name brands, because the other ones I'm seeing, the knockoffs, look just as nice. They look like they're the exact same. I couldn't even tell. If you held up, be like, here's the $300 pair of pants and here's the $30 pair of pants. I'd be like, I couldn't even tell. $30 all the way.
I think back in the day, there was a difference between quality of clothes. But a
Yeah.
lot of this, I mean, there's some pretty cheap clothes, don't get me wrong. But the basic clothes today is
Yeah.
better than a lot of the older stuff was.
There's a store. It's Zara. They don't. They've got a few in South Florida, but I shop a lot there because they're pretty affordable clothes. You're not paying. They're not any kind of stylish brand. Zara is just they make cheaper clothes.
Yeah.
And yeah, they can fall apart after a couple wears, but still, they're affordable.
Yeah. That tends to be how I go as well. Dude, they have $100 jeans. You go, all right, come on, guys.
Yeah.
What are you thinking?
Right.
I've had the same pair of jeans for I think 3 years now.
Yeah, I hold jeans forever. I'm kind of over them. I used to be able to deal with the expanding waist, but they get so saggy at the end of the day.
I got the other jeans that I have. It makes me look like I have dump ass. It's a terrible look. There's only one pair that really fit my
Yes.
ass to leg to crotch ratio. You see what I'm saying?
So when I was younger, I didn't mind sagging my jeans a little bit, and that's kind of that dump ass you're talking about. It was the style, but in present day, I don't like the dump ass. So you have to buy jeans that fit you. If you buy them that fit you in the morning, by the end of the day they're loose, and if you buy them looser so that they're huge at the end of the day, it's terrible.
Oh, I was so bummed out. The very first event we did for WRMF was at Dirty
remember.
Martini, and me and Denny's were still living down there in Davie, and we were going back and forth, and it was one of them days where we just ran out of time, and I didn't have an outfit to wear, and I had to go to fucking Urban Outfitters, and I had to buy some
It was
kind
in that plaza, the
some
same
young
plaza.
outfit, and I did not realize that I bought skinny jeans. I look back at the pictures, and I look like fucking Humpty Dumpty.
Skinny jeans they're tough to pull off sometimes.
Dude, it was terrible.
And they were so trendy. They were the trendiest
Yeah.
kind of jeans you could buy.
I looked like a real dick face.
The whole night you complained about them. You were just like, what the hell are these?
I couldn't move, but then the accent in my gut, it was a shitty look, man. I looked like I was trying to be young.
I just hate belts so much. I almost ordered this on Amazon, and Jen was like, that thing's terrible. But it's not a full belt. It just loops around your two back jean loops.
What?
And it pulls the back of your jeans tighter.
Huh.
It's like a loop that you tighten in the
I've
back.
not seen that.
I thought it was cool,
That
but
is kinda
supposedly
cool.
I thought so too. But no, anyone I showed it to thought that was like it was like the equivalent of Velcro shoes to them. They just thought it
really?
was so lame.
Wow.
Why the fuck?
I
You
thought
and I
it
got
was
the same
awesome.
fashion sense. I think it's awesome too.
Well, then you don't have to wear a belt and you can keep pants.
It's kind of
up.
badass.
I thought the same exact
What
thing.
the fuck's going on with Velcro shoes?
People always dog on Velcro. I had a pair of Velcro shoes in like 3rd grade, and everyone dogged on me, and I go, never again.
Whatever, man. You make the X on the Velcro. I thought Velcro was considered cool.
I did that same thing and
I
thought it was
love
cool.
I get trolled mercilessly in my family. Like just the things I try to put on and
For
wear.
Velcro shoes? That's a faux pas.
I can't even tell you how big the queen would. She would actually encourage me to do it, and then she'd take photos of it. She'd be like,
And then
"Oh
make
my
fun-
god!" And then she sends it out to the whole thing, and then the whole day is she would do a whole photo shoot and keep trolling me with the whole family, and then Caitlin would jump in and she'd be trolling me, and yeah.
I think people think they're lame, man.
There's not trendy Velcro shoes out there.
You don't. I mean, you're not going to get good fashion sense from anyone in this studio.
Yeah, I
right
mean,
now.
I'm definitely not a fashionable person.
I'm not gonna. Yeah,
I was thinking about buying that half belt.
I would imagine it's a no, but I don't know for sure. I don't know fashion.
Look, I don't know. I don't know shit from Shinola.
I never had good luck with Velcro. Anytime I brought it up, people would scoff at me.
Yeah. Omar said Velcro shoes, cargo pants, and sunglasses with the rope. His dad fit. Yeah, I bought that freaking. I brought that rope for my glass. Did I give that to you, Bert, already?
You did. I have a dad
It
bod.
would not end.
Dad outfit. I ain't got with kids.
It wouldn't, and I got it because we were doing paddle boarding. I'm like, I don't want to drop my glasses, and it was practical.
It made
And
so much sense.
I got trolled the entire time. Just it was one joke after another. I'm like, I can never wear these again. Like I couldn't enjoy my day.
Look, you let me know when you want to cash in on that hug.
Yeah. Just hold me and don't let go, Bird.
Oh, whoa.
Hold me and don't let go. All right. Well, there you go. I'm going to probably try to get a hold of Virginia today. I want to find out. I'm so curious about how her quest went to find her grandma's friend.
Yeah, a little adventure. I love it.
Yeah, so hopefully get a little update from Virginia. Maybe tomorrow she'll check in and she'll be back with us on Thursday. The one thing that she doesn't know is we decided to hold off on Do It Bitch until Thursday. So she's going to be so fucking pissed when she comes in here on Thursday thinking she missed Do It Bitch and she finds out she didn't.
Yeah, she's going to be very annoyed.
Oh, she's going to be so mad. So that's going to be our little inside joke that you guys want to tune in. Thursday at 8:15 when we spring on her that we saved Do It Bitch just for Virginia and she loses her mind. That's going to be a lot of fun. Don't miss out on that. All right, y'all. Have a good one. We'll see you back here tomorrow. Goodbye.